Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream. Today it is the 21st of October 2021, 5 minutes past 5 in the evening, United Kingdom. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today I've got something quite special for you. We're in the Just Flight BAE Hawk T1 trainer. They sent it over to me a few days ago, sort of a pre-release copy version. In fact, I've just got an updated version of this aircraft literally about 30 minutes ago, ready for this stream. And we're going to have a bit of fun. We're in RAF Valley on the island of Anglesey in Wales, which is where the RAF do a lot of their initial jet flight training. And we're going to depart here, fly the very famous Mach Loop anti-clockwise, and then come back here and attempt an instrument approach. We're going to try the TACAN ILS DME runway 13 with a DME ARC onto the ILS, followed by a circle to land. Going to turn live weather on, live time to do that as well. Instrument flying, hand flying an aircraft. I have absolutely no clue to fly at all. I'm very much hoping to get a lot of input from chat today. My fast jet sim experience, well, you can't really count War Thunder. It's absolutely none. This is the most I've ever done, and apart from about an hour preparing for this stream, well, I say an hour, a couple of hours yesterday preparing for this stream as well. This aircraft should be out next week or so. I was pretty impressed with the amount of detail that this aircraft has as well. I mean, we're going to do a setup from cold and dark, and you've got to do a lot. All the switches seem to be modelled. It has TACAN modelling. All the instrumentation seems to be working correctly. The performance, well, the X-Plane version of this aircraft, I watched a video by a YouTube channel called Fast Jet Performance. This guy's an ex-RAF pilot who flew the Hawk and I think some other fast jets as well. He was pretty impressed with the Just Flight X-Plane 11.1. So no doubt when he tries out the Microsoft Flight Simulator version, I'm sure he'll be very impressed as well. But apparently all the inputs, the roll rates, very well modelled. They've used Hawk pilots to make this as well, which is pretty cool. We'll talk about whether this is going to be released, the price during the stream as well. But for now, let's zoom on in here. This is a freeware add-on airport for Valley here. If you use the command ! Scenery, you can find the link to that. I can't remember who the developer was, but yeah, it looks really cool. They've got lots of static aircraft, military airports, but a lot better than the default version here. So you've got all the military airports, and you see there's a little terminal there, well, a terminal hangar, fuel trucks galore. But you'll find that my BAE Hawk is nestled here between a Eurofighter and F-16. There we are, excellent. And what a really cool livery. I was really tempted to fly Red Arrows today, but I thought, you know what, let's take one of the FTS aircraft, which is their flight training school aircraft here. This livery looks absolutely awesome. However, I have decked it out in the Red Arrow sort of scheme, so you can see here, look, we've got the diesel tank there. We could develop some smoke, red, white and blue, whatever's needed. We've got the two-seater variant as well, but yes, completely cold and dark. You're going to have a lot of fun trying to see me fly this aircraft. So long as I can get it up and down in one piece, that's fine. Might do a loop as well, and some aileron rolls as well. I've got a flight plan as well, the VFR map here for the Mach Loop as well. So you can see here, this is the exact Mach Loop. We're going to do this north entry and follow the routing here. I've got Navigraph open here, so I can sort of try and point out some of the landmarks. I'm no expert, guys. I've just found this, thankfully, online. Someone actually generated the Mach Loop for me to follow. And then once we've done that, we're going to head back up to Valley for the ARC approach. But we'll explain everything there. I've got that on my second window to follow, which is really, really cool. Anyway, just before I crack on with the setup, let's have a put you there so you can enjoy the exterior view. Just want to see who's in chat here. Skipper says, my mum just seen the Red Arrows practicing. Very cool. Are they based in Scampton or did they move? You know, I'm from Lincolnshire, so, you know, I went to loads of air shows growing up. Waddington Air Show I went to about 4 or 5 times. You know, been to the Fairford Air Show a few times. Not that that's near from where I'm from, but yeah, you know, I know a little bit about military aircraft, but nothing about flying them there. But fella, I hope you're doing well. Taylor 31425 JKH says, finally able to catch the live stream. Thank you very much for coming in here. Alexander Hill, Josh Grayson as well. Where does Jim sit? Well, I'm the instructor technically, so I should be sat at the back, but I'll be sat at the front today there. But look at the detail. It's absolutely phenomenal, this exterior model. Absolutely spot on. The sounds are all recorded from a Hawk as well. It sounds very immersive, very impressed, but it's absolutely stunning. But Yeah, oh guys, as I mentioned, go check out this YouTube channel, Fast Jet Performance. He's played DCS and X-Plane, taking the Hawk. This guy's an ex-fighter jet pilot. He knows what he's talking about. I certainly picked up a few things from him on his YouTube channel, which is really, really cool. Blade 929 Valley is a great place to visit. Lucky enough to be camping on a site pretty much at the end of the runway in the summer. Wife wasn't aware how close we were when I booked it. Brilliant. Probably didn't appreciate the loud noise there. Hope you're doing well, Anthony. Base Cubing Romulus as well. Hope you're doing well. Kieran, thank you so much for your 22 months membership as well. You are overpowered. Yeah, no carrier landings today. But that's what it would be shouting at me if I was doing one today there as well. Gary, I see the arrows regularly over my area in Heckington near Sleaford, Lincolnshire. Very good. I was born in Boston, Gary, so you're not too far away from my neck of the woods there. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thanks for subscribing as well. ZebTube HD as well. Perfect. So let's now jump on in to the cockpit. Look at that realism. Up the stairs we'll clamber, and yeah, we'll take the front seat, which is the student seat. Oh, there we go. Oh, amazing. Oh, look at that for smoothness and professionalism. There we go. It's even easier to do that there. Cool. So we'll turn the music down here. So just to tell you what I'm following here, I'll bring it up here briefly. I've got the PDF included with the Hawk here. I mean, this isn't just some dilly-dally cheap add-on, you know. This is a fully modelled, fully immersive Hawk trader. Everything's modelled. I think they've got something like all the systems here: fuel transfer, electrical systems, central warning system. When I first read that, I read central heating system. It's like, oh, okay. Hydraulics, flight controls, landing gear, air conditioning, oxygen, all the displays, radios. I mean, this isn't just some, you know, arcade add-on. This is the real deal, and I'll be following the kind of tutorial to get the aircraft set up. I mean, you know, it'll be a little quicker perhaps than setting up a commercial jet airliner, but there's a lot to do, and I'll be cracking on with this, trying to answer as many questions as possible. But yes, as I mentioned, out soon by Just Flight. It'll be $32.99. If you have the FSX prepared version, you'll get 25% off as well, which is really, really cool. Right, so anyway, I'll close that. And I'm just going to be following the setup here in the background to get it all set up there. Philippe Simulator, thanks for the 8 months as a member. Hi Captain, beautiful flying weapon for today. Anyway, hoping you're doing okay. Thank you very much, Philippe Simulator, for your continued support as a member. Thanks for highlighting your comment as well. And yeah, I mean, we have no weapons on ours, but you can deck this out with weapons. There's all different variants here. I've got the Bread Arrows config, but you can put lots of different weapons on. I mean, just to demonstrate to you, look, and you can actually see it adjusts your payload and weight, and you can see, look, when I put this on, look, the aircraft jerks around a little bit as the weight gets included. But there you go. I've got some. Oh, that looks like one of those fireworks that you set off on the 5th of November. That's not very big. Definitely one. Yeah, there we go, gun pods. But yeah, it's fully customizable. I know some people might not like to hear it, but you can't fire these weapons in the commercial Microsoft Flight Simulator. You probably need DCS or something, but I think there's a Hawk for DCS. But yeah, you can add all sorts there in the background. Vatsim, no, not today. H1 Gaming, just offline, having a bit of fun there. Anyway, I'm going to get the aircraft set up. It's in the cold and dark states. It comes with, obviously, the real Hawk doesn't have an autopilot, but if you wish to, you know, step away in the cruise, you can actually put a little out hold, heading hold, ILS hold there. It's just so it just flies added there, but we're not going to be using any of that today. We're going to be hand flying this beast all the way there. But yeah, this is the pre-release preview 2 version, which I have here. Hey Captain, aren't you here in the land of the sheep? Yes, we are, ResX, your home nation there, if you're doing well, buddy. Right, anyway, let's get this set up. So, it says here to get started, what I need to do is actually get the aircraft configured in the rear cockpit first. The reason is, you know, it's a tandem jet aircraft. You have to have certain things configured in the rear here for it to work in the front, and apparently this is just as it would be in the real Hawk. So we've jumped into the rear seat here briefly here. So it says set the engine start switch to on. So that is on. Configure the tailplane standby trim cover, or confirm that the tailplane standby trim cover is down. That's here. That is down. Set the anti-skid switch to on. That's on. Confirm the up and down gear select buttons are out, which they are. And push the red transfer button in to make sure the gear control has been transferred to the front cockpit, which is that button there. There we go, push that there. Confirm that the flap selector is set to pupil, which is the mid position there. So there we are. I guess that just allows for the guy in front to be able to move the flaps instead of the guy in the rear. There we are. So Jim can now jump in. We'll now jump back into the front. There we are. I'll reset my view. Perfect. Cool, so confirm that lighting switches are all off. All the lighting switches are down here, and they are all off. Oh no, sorry Jim, I've got to make sure you're actually alive first. It's these switches confirm are off, and make sure Jim's oxygen's on as well. There we go. Sorry Jim, forgot about that. Now I can move into the front cockpit. Exactly, Anthony, come on Jim, do your job. Now we can do the rest of the stuff here. So move to the front cockpit to carry out the initial checks. So confirm the landing gear lever is set to down, which it is. There we are. You have the down switch in. Confirm that both battery switches are set to off. The battery switches are down here. They're off. And rotate the oxygen selector to on for myself. There we go. Now check do the strapping in checks. Okay, so set the rudder lock located in front of the control stick to off. There we are. Rudder lock is off. Check the voltage of each battery. So set battery 1 to on. That's the sort of master warning system, or the central warning system, I think they call it. Check the voltage for battery 1. So battery 1, make sure it's at least 23 volts, which it is. It then says turn it off. And then check battery 2 independently. And make sure that has... oh, shush. 23 volts. There we are, 23 volts, and then turn both batteries on. There we are. So battery 1 and 2 is on. We have some electrical power towards the aircraft. Switch on the navigation lights to alert ground crew that the aircraft is powered. Confirm the CCS, which is the Communication Central System. Amplifier is set to normal. That's down here. CCS amplifier selector to normal. Confirm the parking brake handle is on. The parking brake took me ages to find, but there it is. It's down there, so that's released. Now the parking brake is set. At the aft end of the left console, rotate the low pressure fuel cock lever to on. That's down here. There we go. That switch is on. Confirm that the engine start switch is set to off. We don't want to be starting those just yet. That is off. Set the fuel pump switch to on. Confirm that the pitot switch is off. So fuel pump on. Pitot heat is off. Confirm that the tailplane standby trim cover is down. No idea what that is. Try to find out, but still not sure. Throttle is set to HP off. So it's like an not an Airbus, the BAE 146 actually. It's got like a detent to have the fuel cut off, and then you move it forward to start the engine later on. Confirm that the port and starboard brake accumulators are pressurized. They are. We have some pressure there. Perfect. Moving to the left instrument panel, confirm that the undercarriage gear and standby flap handles have been pulled out. They have. We don't need those in. Confirm that the flap selector is set to up. The flaps are in the up position. Set the UHF's function selector to both. Confirm that the mode switch is in manual. So both and manual. We won't be using the UHF radio today. Let's put my radio tuning panel on though, which is pretty cool. Moving across the central and lower instrument panels, confirm that the DJI flag is retracted. So here we are, we've got no DJI flag on. Push in the accelerometer knob to reset the minimum maximum G needles. There we are, they're both now set to 0. Set the AHRS heading mode to slave. So just like with your Piper, you can slave the compass to magnetic north, so you don't have to keep updating it. And then you set your latitude here. Now I did a bit of research, we're on 53 degrees north here, so let's rotate that to 53. Annoyingly, the little tool pop-up blocks the gauge, so you can't actually see what it is. That's about 53 degrees north there. Perfect. Push the ILS marker light in to test it. That's tested. All works on the ILS approach as well. Confirm the UHF power switch is set to normal. Where are you? There it is. UHF's power switch is to normal. Confirm the standby instrument power switch is also in normal as well. That's up here. And that's set to normal. There we are. Everything's configured on the central panel. David Hughes, fuel tanks. Yes, we have 3 fuel tanks, I think, in total. Ooh, that reminds me. I wanted to take a little bit extra fuel today. There we are. Let's take a ton of fuel. That should be enough for our sortie today. We'll only be airborne for about 45 minutes or so. I was watching some videos. These guys come back in like with 200 kilos of fuel all the time as well. So that's all looking good. Perfect. Moving across the right instrument panel, confirm the oxygen CWP caption is off. So oxygen CWP stands for central warning panel. So that light is extinguished. Make sure you have at least half a tank of oxygen. We have full tank of oxygen. It's looking good. Confirm that you have sufficient fuel for the flight, and the GTS indicator shows black. So this aircraft doesn't have an APU. It has this gas turbine system. It's basically like an APU. You fire that up to get the engine started, but that's currently off at this stage there. Test the warning system, so we'll move that to test. Make sure all the lights illuminate, which they are, and then we can reset that as well. Hopefully that won't go off at all whilst we're in our flight here. Set the panel light dimmers as required. We don't need any lighting today. Weather-wise, guys, I've just put standard ICE a day, clear skies, 1013, calm winds, and then I'm going to go to live weather for our flight back into Valley shortly. Moving on to the radio then, this is all fully modelled. We've got VHF, VOR, TACAN. It's pretty impressive how much is modelled here. Paul Shoesmith, I guess that's your membership renewal coming in there. There we are, it's popped up. 19 months, ready to have my eardrums blown by jets. Engine noise. Little typo there. Thank you very much, Paul, for your membership for 19 months. The sounds on this are pretty epic, I must admit. But yeah, I'll try and do some external shots whilst flying the Mach Loop so you can see the roads, and I have got the Navigraph map to try and explain some of the geographical locations as well, which will be pretty good to demonstrate. Right, anyway, let me carry on here with the setup. Moving over to the right console, confirm the CCS function selector is set to VHF. It is on VHF. Confirm the frequency mode selector is set to manual as well. Where are you? Manual. That's oh no, that's a different switch here. Rotate the IFF SSR, so that's going to be transponder, to standby. That's down here. I think I need to do this one first though. There we are. TR plus G. That's to power up the VHF radio, and then make sure that's in manual. TX RX to power up the TACAN system. We'll need to tune up a TACAN as well, which is the one associated with the ILS. That's 22 Yankee. So we dial in 22 Yankee, and TACAN, I mean, let me try and remember, what is a TACAN? It's basically military VOR. You have TACANs, which are going to be used by military aircraft. You have Vortax, which allows a VOR receiver on our aircraft to pick up a VOR bearing and DME distance as well. But the TACAN here, 22 Yankee, is the equivalent of this frequency here, 10855, which is the ILS for runway 13. And we're using this for the approach later on back here into Valley when I chuck in live weather. So we tune the TACAN, confirm that the navigation mode selector is switched on to TACAN, which it is, and we have no ident yet. I think if I go to ILS, I will get the information. I think maybe I have to have the aircraft powered up first, because nothing happened until I got the aircraft powered up. But we've got everything tuned down here that I need to have tuned. Frequency set. Confirm the ADR status fail flag is visible. Where's that? I think that was down here. I think it was when you just turn one of these onto standby. Oh no, that's test pass. Can't remember. I can't find it. Hopefully we won't need it. Confirm that the ADR status flag is... fail flag is visible. Where is the ADR status? Don't know. So we'll presume it's fine. ILS frequency will tune as well as backup, which is also 10855. So you've got the TACAN receiver frequency and also the ILS. So 10855 is tuned, and that's switched over to ILS as well. There we go. Perfect. Rotate cabin air trim to normal. Get a bit of hissing, I think, now. There we are. Conditioning switch is set to normal. All looking good. Focke-Wulf 190. TACAN is VOR DME, and we're flying on a TACAN as a civilian. We only get distance. No radial. Vortac is a TACAN and extra VOR. I thought Vortax you can get bearing information though from Focke-Wulf. I swear I've tuned up a Vortac and had bearing information, but yeah, TACAN we can only use DME from. I do remember, but Vortac which I guess isn't a TACAN, we can definitely get, I'm pretty sure we can get bearing information from. But yeah, I've never actually flown a TACAN approach. John Padfield, how do you find out what the TACAN frequency is? Just Flight have you covered. There you go. So I think all these are the TACAN codes for the frequency presets or something there, but they've also got a table in their manual. No, that's not right. I think these just give you something called frequency preset card. I think you can preset frequencies, that's something different. But no, Just Flight have a table for you to have all the TACAN codes associated with the VHF frequency for the VOR, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is all new to me. This is something I've not covered since my ATPL theory, which was 11 years ago now. Right, I think we're all good and ready to start the engines. Now, just before I do this, we'll have a little bit of a talk about what I'd like to get done today. So let me just grab the VFR chart or VFR map here, and also I'll fire up Navigraph as well, so you're going to have a full of charts and things here at the moment. So here we are geographically in Wales on the island of Anglesey at Valley, and if I bring up the charts for Valley here, so we're going to take off of runway 33, and I like to do a loop. I'm going to accelerate to 400 knots, do a loop, come back towards the airfield with the smoke on, because why not? So we're going to taxi out runway 31. They'll be using runway 31 here in reality as well with the wind, even though live weather's off. And later on we're going to be flying this approach. We're going to fly DME ARC, hand flying the Hawk, intercept the ILS, and then I'm going to do a circle to land to runway 33. Now runway 31. Some people are asking me to do a run and brake, but I can't really demonstrate because I really want to demonstrate a different side to flying an aircraft like that, and it's instrument flying. I'm sure these guys would have to have done that as well at some point, but hopefully we'll fly this with reasonable accuracy. So we're going to take off runway 33. Let me get the little VFR map here so I can sort of show you what we'll be doing. So 33, loop, runway 13, buzz the tower, let's say, and then we're going to fly outbound following this sort of magenta line here towards the coastline. Now geographically, where are we here? We're going to go towards we're going to fly in this valley here via Aberdovi, Furness, and then we're going to sort of join the Mach Loop, and the Mach Loop is flown counterclockwise, so we're going to sort of join in here and then make a right turn and follow this. And this generous person, if you type in Google Mach Loop Microsoft Flight Simulator flight plan, you'll get the link for this, which is awesome. And it sort of follows the road here, the A487, all the way through these towns here, and then up here past these points here, Kemaz Road, Kemaz is my best Welsh there, Abengel, Malward, Dinas Mordy, and then up on the A470 and out via Dogaloo. We're going to go out via Dogaloo. In fact, I think I might have actually... Yeah, sorry, I said we're going in via Furness. We're actually going in via the Barmouth River. Get your flight data sim atlases out, guys. But yeah, I'll flash this up where possible so I can show you sort of where we are geographically. But this is a complete, novice attempt. No experience at all flying. I've done the Mach Loop a couple of times in preparation for this stream, but no experience or information regarding the Mach Loop itself. It's a bit of fun today. Hi Cam Spider, hi all. Martin from Just Flight here. Quick note, we'll be addressing a couple of final Sim Update 6 related issues. Thanks for the update there, Cam Spider. I've spoken to you before with regards to the BA146 as well. Yes, I've got this latest version, which your colleague sent over to me just literally half an hour before the stream. I had a quick flight and it seemed to be working fine. But yet, must stress, this is not the final version. There'll be some changes to this version before release, which is imminent, no doubt. Anyway, we've talked about what we're going to do geographically. Now, let's get the aircraft all started, ready to go. So ready to start the engines, close the canopy by clicking the yellow and black MDC handle or the EFB tablet, so we've got to do everything down here anyway. So let's close the nose hatch, close the canopy. Ooh. Very satisfying. Canopy is closed. Get rid of all the equipment, chocks, covers and steps. There we are, we're sort of like a ready to go. Nothing connected or plugged in, all the tubes and pitot tubes are free, which is excellent. And starting the engine, we need to start the GTS, the gas turbine system. So to do that, there's a little button here on the throttle which you push in, and you push that, and that starts the gas lighter system, he says. Was it that button? What have I forgotten? Uh-oh, I swear it was that button before. Engine start sequence. Tablet. Oh, first you put the anti-collision lights on. I don't think that will make any difference. So, red light switches. Did I push the right button? Let me try again. Well, that's not good. Every time I've done that before, it started the gas turbine system. But I've got nothing. It's dead. Oh no!
50, 40,
What's
30,
happened?
20, 10.
No diesel tank attached. I should have the diesel tank. Ah, where's my diesel tank gone? Should be. Thank you to whoever that was. Thanks to Control. I'll get back to you shortly. Let me just try and see if what I've forgotten here. I might have to press the ready for start button, but engine start master 2 on. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, I forgot to do that. That's why it's useful to have the developer in chat there. Thanks, Token Control. Good to be interesting stream. Let's go for a butter. Quick question: do UK airports permit organised visits to towers? Is there a strict regulation? Would love to know. I think pretty strict, Token Control. I have no idea about that. Best look online there, but best of luck with that. Thanks for your donation. Right, let's try that again. Thanks, Cabs.
Minimums.
Noise!
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
Thanks, Tim Fraser, for the 35 months. I have this Hawk on FSX. Makes me want to reinstall it. Kids are having a great time on holiday. Where's been a bit crappy, but it's all good. Thank you, Tim Fraser, for your 35 months membership. That's such a long time. If you get Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can get 25% off when it gets released. Tim, I know you're not a big fan of Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it should be available with 25% off if you're a previous purchaser of the product there. Anyway, sounds like the gas turbine system's all started. I can't believe I forgot to put the starter switch on. I'll just make sure I've not forgotten anything else here. That's interesting. Now, I've got the updated manual here, Cam's Pilot, which was here. And it doesn't seem to mention in the thing here about moving that switch on, unless I've completely missed it. Set the... there it does. Ignore me. I completely missed it. Engine start switch to on, which I didn't manage to forget during the setup then. Ignore me. Right, verify the gas turbine system is running with the green light, and once that's running, we can start the engine. So set the engine start switch to start and release. There we are. You can see we have the RPM increasing. We need to wait until 15 to 20%. I will be turning down the sound because it is extremely loud. So there's 15 to 20%, and move the throttle idle stop lever to start. Ignition. Now that is something really cool. That's only the second time I've ever started it. Absolutely amazing. There we are. Oh, instrumentation's all coming alive along with my HSI. There's the gas turbine shutting down automatically. Would you like to go outside to listen? Absolutely mega. I'll be turning the sounds down, especially on takeoff. Look at the heat shimmer, how cool is that? I think you mean turn it up, absolutely. Excellent. Well, we got it started. Absolutely superb. Love it. Right, engine stabilised. Check the fire oil, FPR and trans CWP. Central warning panel lights have not illuminated. We just have hydraulic 2 and skid. But to do that, we need to turn the anti-skid on, which we do just prior to departure. And we also need to do something with hydraulic 2. I can't remember what it is. Check for full and free movement of flight controls. Before doing that, press in for the hydraulic 2 reset switch, which is this button 2 here. You'll then see hydraulic 2 pressure rising, so it does some sort of weird hydraulic pressure conversion or something there, but we should hopefully get the hydraulic 2 light extinguished. There it is. Let's check the flight controls. This is just mega. Elevator, aileron, and rudder. Alright, looks like we've got full and free movement. Test the air brake by first moving the air brake test switch on the right console to test up, so on the ground is the only way to get it to work. And then we can press the slash key. There we are. Air brakes tested. And where I had the air brake light on. Close. And we can turn off the air brake test switch as well. Congratulations, you've started the Hawk. Thank you. Excellent. Set the pitot heater switch to on. That's down here. Confirm the flap selection to mid. There's only 2 flap settings, mid and full. There's mid. Flaps extended. We'll talk about the takeoff roll shortly. Press the push to sync button to slave the HSI to the compass. So push to sync. There we are. And on the right console, set the transponder code as required. Well, we'll leave it set to 2000. And we're now ready to taxi. So let me grab up Navigraph again. Here we are. Let's grab the charts. That's from all our previous live streams. There we are. So we're going to taxi straight ahead, make a left turn, and another left turn to go on to Alpha, and then we'll taxi to runway 31. There we go. So let's release the parking brake and try and find the Mach Loop. This is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. It's so exciting. On our way. Oh, forgot to turn the taxi light on. Where are you? Where it's turning. There we are, landing taxi light on. This is epic. But one of the plans I've got for doing another flight in this aircraft is actually, if I can get good at holding altitude and headings, the range of this aircraft's about 1,000 nautical miles. I think with the external tanks on, you know, we could probably try on VATSIM do a positioning flight in this aircraft or something, or something along those lines. I mean, I know it's meant to be flown fast, close to the ground and stuff, but I'm thinking a bit, you know, it'd be quite cool to do. These aircraft flew to America, didn't they, for air shows? The Red Arrows did, but doing some sort of flight like that would be pretty cool. Super Groby, great content as always, have fun, thank you very much. What are the power settings to taxi? That's a brilliant question, Jason. I don't think there's anything dictated anywhere. I mean, I've got something like 25% thrust here, and it's moving along quite nicely. It looks awesome. Jim's looking petrified. Sounds like a Hoover. Can't hear that. Well, a little bit. You wait until I said take off power, though, if you can hear me. That is so loud. Rohit, tell you, Captain, any military expertise? Absolutely none. But this is a 737 pilot's take on a BAE Hawk. You know. So, guys, if you have just joined, as I said, we're going to take off runway 31, accelerate to around 400 knots, loop, and then roll wings level, dive towards the runway, and then we're going to head towards the coastline of Wales, a little bit further south to head to the Mach Loop via the north entrance, it's called. Flying, we're going to do the Mach Loop at 350 knots as well. 350 knots, I think that's a speed that they seem to do it. Although I did watch a video of guys doing it at 400, but I can't think quick enough. David, member formation fly across the Atlantic. Now, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, this has got some incredible, you know, if they, when this gets released and we can do multiplayer, I mean, yeah, wow, you've got a lot of potential doing all sorts of this aircraft. Aerobatics display, we've got smoke as well, the smoke control, we'll do that too. I mean, I can show you now. Smoke on, let's do a little bit of red smoke. Oh, I think I've got to be airborne though, maybe. Yeah, maybe I've got to be airborne, but I don't know. Guys, this is my take on it. There's so many features on this aircraft which you will not even see today. I'm just doing a little bit of fun as well. Jason, flying a plane, no difference from riding a bicycle, just a lot harder to put baseball cards in the spokes. What? Fair enough. Hey, Jack, my dog's just walked in. On your bed, go on your bed, buddy. Matthew, wrong aircraft at RAF Valley. They fly the Hawk T2 from here. Sorry, yeah, this is T1. Isn't T2 the newer variant with more glass displays and things like that? I think this is based off the original Hawk. Oh, sorry. I'm sure there must have been a Hawk T1 in Valley at some point. Oh, here's some. I've got some expertise here. 420 knots is standard low-level speed. Oh my goodness me. Not 350, because if you have an engine failure, you can climb to 10,000 feet from the energy alone. I get you. Alright, yeah, so if you have an engine failure, you can trade all that kinetic energy into potential, get up to 10,000 feet, and then glide to somewhere. I got you. Alright, I'll tell you what, I'll do 400. How about that, NV Stuart? Right, we're at the whole point there. So, prior to entering the runway, set the anti-skid switch on. Set the anti-collision light switches to white. They are set to white, and then take off. It's as simple as that. That's all it says. So let's talk a little bit about the takeoff run. This is the guidance for just like tutorial. We'll set full power. We're going to accelerate to 90 knots. Here's the airspeed indicator. So you have a 100, 150 knots, 200, 300 knots, 400 knots, etc. When we get to 90, we're going to slowly move the control stick aft in order to raise the nose wheel. And then we get to 120 knots. And once we're at 120 knots, increase the back pressure aft a little bit further, and then rotate to your takeoff attitude, and the aircraft will rotate. As soon as we're airborne, retract the gear and flaps. They need to be retracted by 200 knots, and then we'll just let the aircraft accelerate to 400 knots. So we're very, very, very gradual climb. When we get to 400 knots, loop, smoke on, we'll do everything. I think 200 knots is the minimum speed at the top of the loop, and then I'll come off the power, and when we'll buzz past runway 13 on the return into Valley, and then we'll head southeast towards the Mach Loop. So that's what we're going to do there. Anti-squid, I know, I had Squid Game in my head there. Right then, Toka's in chat. Let me get myself into a decent position here. I am going to turn the noise down slightly because it is extremely loud, this add-on. Once you get airborne, you won't hear me speak. I guess I know what you guys would rather hear. Right, let's do it. I'd love to play Danger Zone, but I might get a copyright strike if I do that. Did you say QNH? Yeah, 1013. No timer either. There we go. Oh god, I'm getting track IR. You need track IR for this, guys. I'm going to do my absolute best to show you everything I'm looking at. Okay, I've got full left rudder. Right, the problem was, because I clicked out of the sim, I started making left rudder inputs, but it didn't work. That's nothing to do with the simulator. It's because I had my mouse clicked off Microsoft Flight Simulator. Be nice though if your control column or joystick still worked when you're outside here. I can't wait for chat's response to this. No comment. That was embarrassing. It always happens in Microsoft Flight Simulator. X-Plate, you don't have that problem. Right, anyway, pointing in the right direction. I can just see chat's response coming in now. Enough. Right, let's do it. Right, full power. Just going to hold it on the brakes. There we are, full power set. Let's go. There we are. A little bit of right rudder coming in. Airspeed to live. There's 90 knots, a little bit of back pressure. A little bit. There we are, nose wheels up. And there's 120, increase the back pressure, airborne. A little bit jerky. Gears up, flaps up. Maintaining centre line and trimming. There we are in trim. There we go. Absolutely beautiful. There we are, coming up to 300 knots. Well, that's 1,000 feet already. Let's just level off here. I'm going to wait for 400 knots, come off a little bit of thrust here, otherwise it'll over thrust the edges, I found. Wait for 400 knots. I wonder if the smoke will work now. Let's go red. No, why is my smoke machine not working? Oh, I forgot to put the diesel tank on, that's why. Right, there's 400 knots. Oh dear. Well, let's loop it. So I'm going to try and pull 4G. There we are, there's 4G. There we are. That's about 200 knots, roll wings level. Ooh, I should have been a fighter pilot, look at that. Although not exactly lined up with the runway. And I'm going to go 400 knots past the runway here. Has Jim got the sig bag yet? No. There's 400 knots. Oh, it's a shame he doesn't have fly past views. And next time we'll come here, we'll be trying to fly the instrument approach. There we go. I'll just do an aileron roll because I can. Oh, there we go. Oh, nice. Right, let's go. Look at that. That is epic. So, I'll try and stay below 1,000 feet here. So I'm following the routing that I have programmed here from this flight plan there. So I'm going to make a slight left turn. So basically just following the Welsh coastline. We'll be coming up towards Borth, I think it's called. There's 1,000 feet. And I'll maintain about, someone said do 400 knots, and then let's do 400 then. Accelerate a little bit. It's completely calm today. I mean, the water looks fantastic. I mean, even when there's no wind at all, water looks, you know, silky smooth like that, even when you're flying in reality. So, you know, that's exactly how it works. If I was to put the wind on slightly, you'd get a bit more of a ripple effect, but that's spot on by Microsoft Flight Simulator. Right, there's 400 knots, 425 knots more like. How's the volume, guys? It's probably a little bit too loud. I don't know if you can hear me there. I'm going to put a little bit of music on anyway in the background here. Which is not very befitting, but I don't have much else available. Excellent. Volume spot on, Captain. Thanks, John. Well, oh yeah, 400 knots. Going to try and remember to do Mach Loop at 400 knots. Got 900 kilos of fuel left. It's very hard. It's very hard to judge height when the water's completely smooth. To fly over this little bit of land, which is well known off Wales. In fact, let me just show you where we are quickly. There we are. So we're going to enter Mach Loop just in here. God, look at the speed of this. You've got to keep an eye on that. That's 450 knots. Absolutely crazy. JC2A1. I'm lucky, live near Waddo, so I get to see the Reds often. That's really cool. Yeah, I've been to the Waddington Airshoot loads of times when I was younger. It's just epic. This is so much fun. I'm not going to pretend I know what I'm doing because I have no clue, but it's just fun bombing around at 400 knots at, you know, 500 feet above the ground. And this is where Microsoft Flight Simulator comes alive at low level. This is just stock Microsoft Flight Simulator, and when we get into the Mach Loop, you'll be amazed at how good it looks. We're literally like 3 minutes away from entering, by the way. Try and get a decent view. What's VMO MMO? I think max speed's like 500 and something knots. You can go up to 48,000 feet though. Very high cruise altitude. Anyway, we're heading towards Barmouth now. Just at about 500 feet. I hope I got the fuel calculations right. I think half a tank should be fine. I suppose you could do a few laps in the 7.3. Well, they're pretending to take the Poseidon. Paul, I'll try my best. ILS Whiskey Yankee Zulu. The differences are usually associated with the missed approach. There'll be some slight differences there, or perhaps it's the same ILS but a different procedural approach onto the ILS. If you have a look at Alicante, Paul Hamilton, Lima Echo Alpha Lima, and compare the differences between all those ILS approaches, you'll see the subtle differences on approach track and things like that. Anyway, approaching Barmouth. There's a little airfield here, Echo Golf Oscar Delta, just on the left-hand side. Just not watch my speed. I've been trying to maintain 400 knots. Hi, Sleepy Lab. 30 months as a member. It's been a while for me. Nice to catch stream again finally. Thank you so much, Sleepy Lab. Welcome back again. I haven't seen you for a while indeed. So thanks for tuning in, sir. Anyway, we're about to enter the Mach Loop. There's Echo Golf Oscar Delta, probably not meant to be this close to the airfield, but fair enough. And approaching Barmouth. Just zooming in on my Navigraph map. And this is the entry into the Mach Loop from the north. This is Barmouth just up here on the left. So much for staying at 500 feet. It's so responsive in roll. That's epic. Anyway, here we go. Looks so realistic, the scenery. There's 4G. Look how much speed gets bled off in the turn as well. Oh, look how much I'm climbing too. Here we go though. Barmouth? How do you pronounce it? Barmouth? Oh, don't ask me. Anyway, coming up to Dolgaloo. And then we're going to enter the Mach Loop anti-clockwise. Always flying anti-clockwise apparently. Looking good. I'll try and describe everything I'm seeing based on me looking at the map ahead. Here comes Spark Bags, you'll need it. Well, 4G. I don't know what the maximum G-force is. Anyway, there's Dolgaloo on the left. Good afternoon, everyone in Dolgaloo. I'm meant to be following that road there on the left, and then an immediate right turn, which I think is over here. And then we'll be joining the A487. Look at my speed, someone said do 400 knots. There we are. Does anyone recognise that here? There we go. Someone said they wanted some external views. There you go. It's amazing. I'm meant to go left around here. I've cut the corner slightly, I'm going to wait for the turn. I have no experience there. Oh, I'm doing 500 knots. I don't want to pull too back and get any buffeting, but there we go. Still following the A487, which is just below me. A little bit close to the trees, nothing to see. This is pretty cool. Wow, look at the roll right there. I think I better probably stay in the valley, but I've chickened out. But to be fair, it looks pretty straight here. Surely they can't maintain that turn. Still following the river, and there's a tight left turn coming up shortly. That is absolutely amazing. I have no idea what it's like flying a Hawk, but I think this is the closest I'll ever come, apart from actually being in the back seat of one. That's amazing. There we are. This is where it continues. We're already halfway round. So nervy. TAWS, is that some sort of terrain warning system? Don't have that. 500 feet, 400 knots. Amazing. We're pulled up to 8G now. Absolutely superb. So now, let me get my little map up here. We're still following the, I think it's still down, oh, it might be the A470. Might be wrong there, but we're coming over ahead of Kamaze, a little town just below us. And then we've got Aberangel coming up as well. Oh, look at the sun reflecting in the mirrors. That is epic. Oh, absolutely mega. Too busy looking at the map. I managed to maintain 400 knots. Don't go with Welsh pronunciations there. Here we are joining the A470 over Dinas Modwy. Oh, a bit high here. I'm going to be much lower than this, aren't I? Absolutely amazing. Listen to the sounds as well when you increase the G. Oh, I'd love to see this in real life. I think I'm going to try and find out when they're operating here. Drive over to Wales for the day and watch these guys. Amazing. And there we are. We've just done a full loop, guys. We're back at Donegal. We've just gone round once. That's absolutely epic. There we are. Well, so we're going to exit now via the south exit via Quert, the A487. Oh, I just saw some cars floating. Too high, I know. Oh, I'm going to get loads of criticism and feedback. And there we are. We exit out via the lake. Absolutely amazing. And what we're going to do once we exit out via whatever this town is, Abergynolyn, we're going towards a town called Twin on the coast. Once we get to Twin, we're going to zoom up to 10,000 feet. We're going to go live weather and live time, and we're going to fly the TACAN ILS DME approach runway 13, hand flown, and we're going to do it heads down in iron, you know, out looking out the window, see if we can get ourselves to 500 feet. Absolutely epic. Coming up to Tywyn. Thanks, Hawaii 345 for your pronunciation. That was wicked. Oh yeah, I need to do the smoke, don't I? Let me just get it trimmed out. Right, I think I'm trimmed out. Am I descending? No. I need to quickly get the... display tank on. There we go. Hopefully it'll work now. Yes! Go up to 10,000 feet with my red smoke. Absolutely epic. They've definitely changed the smoke as well. On the previous version I used, it didn't look like that. It looks a little bit more realistic now. Absolutely epic. What height are we at there? Oh, there's 10,000 feet. That's as high as I wanted to go. Absolutely crazy. Right then. So that's the end of the Mach Loop. What did you think, guys? Out of 10. I don't think my ability of flying it was very good. I think I did rubbish as I just go smashing past 10,000 feet. Let's get leveled off at 10,000 feet, about 300 knots. So I can get everything set up for this approach I'm planning. And go live weather, live time as well. Turn the smoke off as well. Thanks, Macan, or your 10 months as a member. 10 months feels like yesterday. Subscribe. Hope everything's going well with them. Thank you very much, Macan, for your continued support. All very good. Guys, I forgot to mention, I was actually at work today. I was in Barcelona about 6 hours ago. Came straight back at the streaming plan. So, yeah, all good. Thank you very much, Macan, for your continued support as a member. Right, anyway, going to get up to 10,000. There's a couple of things here. I'm going to go live time. There we are. Oh, would you look at that. And live weather. This is going to probably change everything here slightly. Oop, there's the wind coming in. And there's live weather. Well, that's spectacular. Let me just turn up the lighting slightly as well. There we go. I'm just going to get levelled off at 10,000. Set the pressure setting 1017. There we are.
Minimums, minimums, minimums. Approaching minimums.
Let's get it trimmed out. About 300 knots. Thanks 2 tons for your 22 months a member. Wasn't paying attention. Could you do the back loop again? Unbelievable. No more. All done. Right. So, you're going to hate me for this, but I'm actually going to put Just Flight's autopilot on, just so I can get this set up for the approach here as we head towards the sunset. Because I've got a lot of explaining to do. It's going to be impossible to hand fly a fast jet like this whilst talking. So this is quite cool, you know, if you just want to chill out. Toggle master, toggle out, hold on, and it's just going to maintain 10,000 for me. There's no auto throttle, so just set a thrust setting to maintain your speed. 250 is going to be nice and efficient for us. We've still got 600 kilos. We've almost burnt half the fuel we had bombing around there. Love seeing you fly around the towns I spent many weekends growing up in. Used to watch tornadoes do these routes. That's so cool, Elliot Smith. I'm actually quite envious. I'd quite like to watch it myself if I ever get the chance as well. Right, anyway, let me bring up Navigraph for you so you can see where we are. I'll get rid of the VFR map because I won't need that anymore. So, just turn the music down here slightly, and also I'll just turn it down slightly in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There we are. So we've just started in Valley. That's where we're going to be finishing. We've just been doing the Mach Loop round all around here, and we're just heading west at the moment towards the sunset.
Minimums, approaching minimums.
And the approach we're going to be flying today is the TACAN ILS RW13. So what I'm going to do, you'll see here, there's a radial. So I want to head in this direction off the 219 radial towards Valley, and then we're going to fly the DME ARC inbound. However, I have found something in the preparation of this stream. The TACAN here, I think it could be a Microsoft Flight Sim issue, 108.4. I can pick it up, but I can't get any bearing information, just DME, so I don't know if that's the way it's been programmed in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The good news is, if you actually tune up the ILS frequency, 108.55, you get both bearing and DME information. Now, the 12 DME ARC is based off the Valley TACAN, so I shouldn't be using that frequency, but it does match precisely. So I'm happy to use that frequency and fly that approach there. It wouldn't in real life, but it works perfectly for that. So how am I going to get there under instrument flying conditions? Well, because the range of the ILS frequency here, 108.55, is about 25 miles, and we're more than 25 miles away. In a bit of preparation for this stream, if I get my high on route charts out here, you'll find we have the Strumble VOR. Now, if I dial up this 13.1, the TACAN frequency for 13.1 converted is 78 X-ray. So if I go down here, 78 X-ray, you'll see here, ta-da, all the bearing information's come alive, alright, which is exactly what we want. Now, what I want to do is fly outbound on a particular course, okay, or radial, and that radial was the 008 radial outbound. So what I'm going to do is keep flying west until that green radial is, or tail of its needle, is on 008. There isn't any airway here, but on the 008 radial, that will position me, once we're at a distance of 54 miles, it'll position me just here, ready to go towards Alpha for the initial approach fix. So a little bit of planning for this stream here. So that's all good. Looking here, we're nearly on the 008 radial. We're on the 1011, and as soon as we're there, I'm going to make the turn northbound. And then I'm going to make that turn manually and then just re-engage the autopilot so I can just brief how we're going to fly the rest of the approach. Final approach course I can set now, which is 135. I can actually set the inbound course here, 008. Actually, if I do that, and then push toggle nav hold, it should make a right turn. There we are, and it's going to follow the radial for me. This is cheating, but this is just to get everything set up for the approach. I promise I'm going to fly the DME ARC manually. and we just need to wait until we are at a distance of 54 miles from the arc there. CAMS pilot, US oxygen usage is simulated, varies depending on number of flight crew, altitude, etc. Yeah, it's gone down a little bit. We had full, and we're down to, what's that, about 3/4, we're on about 6/8 there, so it's definitely been using it, that's for sure. Right, so let's talk about how am I going to fly this approach. So now, flying outbound from the Strumble VOR towards Alpha, the initial approach fix for the TACAN here. I'm going to maintain 10,000 feet QNH until we get to Alpha. Once we're at a range of 14 miles, which is Victor Yankee Lima, but remember we're using a different frequency, 10855, we're going to fly left here on the 12 DME arc. So remember that, I don't know if you guys remember the stream where we did the DME arc demonstration. We're going to do the turn 10, twist 10 technique. The beauty is with the just flight, or just the Hawk, you can make very quick adjustments and just go from there as well. It does say 22 Yankee on the chart, I'm not sure if you noticed that yet. So the 22 Yankee here is for the ILS 10855, but the DME arc, Victor Yankee Lima, is based off 21 X-ray Valley. That is, I'm only getting DME information, no bearing information, so it makes flying the arc impossible. So I'm just using that one there, but that's well pointed out anyway, GPC guy. Cool, 12 DME arc round, turn 10, twist 10. Once we're on the 305 radial, we're going to make a turn onto final. And there's no height on the arc here, it doesn't mention any height here. The platform's 2,000. What I'm going to do is, after we got to 10,000, is descend quickly to 3,000 feet and maintain about 250 knots for the procedure. And on the 305 radial, make a right turn, and then I'll intercept the ILS, the localizer, at 3,000 feet. 3,000 feet when I turn final is pretty much bang on the glide slope, which will work out quite nicely. And then, yeah, what we're going to do, guys, is fly like this on the approach, see if we can get down to 500 feet. Live weather then, runway 13, no good to land on. The surface wind is the reciprocal, so it'll be a tailwind, so we're going to fly a circle to land, alright? Instrument procedures, I'll probably do 135 knots, so we're going to go down to 530 feet, let's call it 500 or 600 feet, and then I'm going to do a visual circuit. I'm not sure what the visual circuit direction is, but we're going to break left, fly a circuit, land on runway 31. So circle to land, just like we would by operating the 737, following the same procedure, except we're in a Hawk. There we are. Can't imagine dogfighting manoeuvres in and out of IMC. Must be incredibly disorientating. I can imagine that being the case, that's for sure. Cool. So I think we're all good. You can bring up here to see where we are. We're still flying outbound from that radial. Once we're at a distance of, as I said here, 54 miles, so that's only 14 miles away, we'll switch over to the ILS. But yeah, anyway, do you want to enjoy some external views or just before we fly the procedure? This, guys, is live time, live weather right now off the Welsh coast here. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely breathtaking. Cool. Speeds we're going to fly then for the ARC 250 on final approach. The recommended speed I think was 200 knots intercepting the ILS. Make notes of this. Oh no, 150 knots on the glide slope. Maximum 200 before we can get the gear and flaps down. And the threshold speed will be 110 knots by the time we get over there. Right, I'm just utilising the autopilot as much as possible. We'll get it disconnected. Just waiting for 54 miles. I'll just get the heading match now. Just switch to heading hold. This is cheating beyond cheating. I'll set now the final approach course, which is 135, slightly offset, and I'm actually going to switch over to the ILS frequency now, which for the TACAN was 22 Yankee. 22 Yankee, same as 10855. I've got 10855 here as well, even though it says 1105. Why is that? There we are, 10855. Perfect. I think we're all good. So, I'm just going to fly in this direction. This should all come alive shortly. We're currently just flying on a heading. Indications then, we have the artificial horizon, airspeed. The scan takes some getting used to. I'm not going to be great at this because it's quite difficult to set a target attitude in this aircraft. The slightest change in attitude makes you climb and descend, but if I can just sort of maintain an ILS, I'll be happy. I'm doing 310 knots at the moment. You've got your localized information will come up here, your glide slope information here as well. It's a bit, takes a bit of getting used to. The little glide slope indicators this tiny little white line. So if the white line here is there, that means you're low. If the white line here is there, that means you're high. And you want to make your adjustments there. Probably need about 700 feet per minute to stay on the ILS there. ZebTube HD, by releasing soon, is that within days soon or within weeks soon? I think days, but I hope Cam's Pilot's still around here. You can confirm it. It's imminent. It's imminent. Anyway, look at that. We have now picked up the Valley TACAN. So turning that off. We're just waiting for the 219 radial. So once that green arrow here, let me just move the chart here. Once the tail of this green arrow is on 219, we'll be flying inbound on the correct radial, so we'll get ready to make that turn imminently. And now I'm going to hand fly the entire approach from here on inwards. Wish me luck. This is going to take all of my capacity. I'm going to try and keep heads down as much as I can, and we'll go from there. So that's all off. My aircraft, it's all in trim thankfully, and there's 219 radial, so I'm going to turn directly inbound towards the TACAN and wait for a range of 14 miles. It's going to maintain 10,000 feet as well. Oh, it's beautiful. See what I mean? It's very hard to keep everything in trim. Thanks 2 tons, that's a very good idea. Go. Right, just waiting now for a distance of 14 miles, 16 miles, nearly there. And that initial heading off that radial we're going to be flying is 310 degrees. 310 degrees. See, I'm so used to 737 thrust pitch couple. Take a bit of thrust off and the nose comes down. Doesn't do that in the Hawk. There's 14 miles, going to make that turn onto the arc. So by the time I've rolled out a heading of 310, we should be at a range of around 12 miles. Don't really care about my descent rate, just going to go down to 3,000. Local QNH is set. Let's turn the music off. Look at that rate of descent, that's fine. 12 miles, actually going to turn a little bit tighter here, just to make sure we don't get any closer. And rolling out a heading of 310, and then we'll check the DME range. There we are, 310, wings level. And looking at the DME arc here, it's saying 12, so we know we're on the arc correctly. And you can see the tail of that needle slowly rising. So we're going to go on to heading of 320 already. There we go, wings level. And this is the turn 10, twist 10 DME technique here. So if I just bring up Navigraph for you, show you where we are. There we go, so we're nicely established on the arc. Pretty pleased with myself there. And then we're going to continue the turn round now. So that's another 10 degrees. Let's go on a heading of 330, getting ready to level off at 3,000 feet. May the force be with you, Captain. Thank you. 330, and just waiting for the head of that needle to get level. I'm going to carry on round. I mean, this is what the 737 does perfectly. 340, still showing 12 miles, which is good. And we need to wait until we're on the 035. When we're heading 035, we should be ready to turn final, so I'll just preset that. Ooh, getting ready to level off. Still showing 12 miles. Getting ready to level off at 3,000. This is like my instrument rating all over again. Right, oh, needle's going away from me now. 3,000 feet, so pull up. Still showing 12 miles, which is good. I just want to get that. I don't want to get below 3,000. So that needle, once the head's falling down, that means you're flying away from the arc. So you want to keep it roughly 90 degrees here. I'm not taking any wind into account here either. Right, just watch my height. So I don't want to get below 3,000. This is extremely challenging. Oh, better just roll wings level here, because we're flying towards the arc. I've turned a little bit too much inside there. Might get 11 miles. So that means we're slightly... See, that's above the 90-degree position? Yeah, 11. Look, we're flying slightly too close in. Let's have a look at Navigraph. Whoa, trying to maintain 3,000. There you are. So you see I've cut the corner slightly because I was turning too steeply. Let's get rid of that again. This is not easy, guys. 250. Oh, I'm accelerating. This is using all of my concentration. The plan is, guys, I'm going to go heads up at 500 feet and hopefully there'll be a runway there. The ILS doesn't quite match up with the Pappies as well. If you follow the glide slope perfectly, you get about 4 reds. So you need to be a little bit high. About 1 dot puts you on the ILS. On the Pappies, the correct height. You should 11 miles there. So yeah, I'm just staying wings level. If it's getting too close into the DME arc height, just go wings level and fly away from the airport for a while. Oh, this is not easy. Right, let's try and maintain about 220 knots now. My speed's all over. How's the fuel? Fine. Got 400 kilos, loads. Jeez, I'm going to have to stay on this heading for ages. I'm waiting for 12 miles still. As soon as it's 12 miles, I'll make the turn, but we're still flying too close. It's probably a fail my check ride. Oof, that VSI. Do you know how hard this is? I'm flying. Right, 250 knots. Trim is very sensitive. I just can't get it to stay perfectly level. Still 11 miles. I'm going to intercept the heading soon for the intercept. 30. Remember the 305 radial? We're almost on it. 305 radial. I need to turn final. Right, 305 turning final. I need to switch to ILS. There's the glide slope, slightly below it as expected. Bring the speed back to 200 knots now. Just going to keep turning until the localizer comes alive. Ah, this height. Right, there's 3,200 knots. Ah, localizer's coming alive. So I'll just keep rolling out. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of an intercept heading here. Let's roll wings level there, back to 3,200 knots, speed's okay. Almost on the glide slope, we're 1 dot high. Oh, looking good. How have you turned ATC off from shouting at you? I'm not listening to Valley right now. 3,000 feet on the localizer, let's roll out runway heading, winds down the runway, which is going to make my localizer tracking a little bit easier. Right, there's glide slope capture. So I'm going to start around a 500 feet per minute rate of descent. We're just below 200 knots, so I'm going to select the first natch of flops. Right, getting a little bit high on the glide slope now, because that flap's just ballooned me slightly. That's going around 1,000 feet. Just not 2,000, that's too much. Now if I'm not going heads up at all until the last second. So slightly left of centre line. On glide slope, just bugging at about 1,000 feet per minute. Gear landing flap come in. A lot more drag now, so I'm going to have to add a lot of thrust to maintain about 130 knots. Watch my localizer. Glide slope's okay, getting a little bit low, a bit more thrust. Lots of thrust needed, not that much. Get back onto the localizer. Glide slope's okay, a little bit low. 130 knots, a bit more thrust. Wings level now. Should get me back onto the localizer, that heading. Again, getting a little bit lower. Let's go about 500 feet per minute. We're nicely in trim. Just waiting until we're back on the glide slope. Back on the glide slope. Just take that thrust off again slightly. Pitch nose down. We're at 1,900 feet. There's the ILS marker of light flashing. That's probably a good sign. Oh, speed, speed, speed. Back to 130. Don't want to go much slower. A little bit higher on the glide slope. Localizer showing fly right. Small changes now. It gets much more sensitive the closer you're on. That was too much thrust for myself. Getting a little bit high on the glide slope again. Oh, watch that. It's a bit of a too big a heading change. So let's get back onto that localizer. Glide slope's going back in. But that rate of descent's a little bit excessive. This is probably the hardest thing I've ever done in a desktop simulator. Speed 120. Need to get back to 130. I am scanning around artificial horizon, track heading, speed, altimeter, rate of descent. Keeping my eyes moving all over the cockpit. It's on a swivel. A little bit low on the glide slope. Again, just 500 feet per minute. That's going to fix that. Wings level. Oh, I've been oscillating on the localizer the whole way down. 120, a little bit fast, and then 1,000 feet per minute. 1,000 feet above the ground now. It's going to show me 4 reds at the moment because it does underread the mappies here. Let's go wings level now. There we are. Now keep descending. Speed's okay. A little bit low. What are we doing? 130, not 120. 800 feet. Remember, I'm going to get to 500 before I look up. Hope the right QNH is set. A little bit higher on the glide slope. That's not bad. It's going to be showing me 2 reds, 2 whites in that case if I'm on dot. That's good. Just set that descent now. Keep it descending in trim. 700 feet above the ground. Getting a little bit high on the glide slope. 1,000 feet per minute. Glide slope's going back in. Localizer a little bit right of centre line. Here we go. Now pop my head up in 2 seconds. A little bit high now. I might see 3 whites here. 3, 2, 1. Looking up. 2 reds, 2 whites. You beauty. Braking then for the circle at the minimums. 500 feet. You beauty. 130 knots. And just doing a sort of circling approach, really. Circling minimum of 5. Well, I said it was 609. Well, we'll call it 500 now. It's going to keep 130. Way. Well, there we are, circling minima. That was very satisfying. See, you know, I'm very lucky to say I fly for real life, but I still get an absolute buzz and a lot of satisfaction from completing an approach like that in an aircraft which I have no clue how to fly, but all airplanes are the same. Pitch, power, performance, scan your instruments, artificial horizon, speed, rate of descent, it's all the same. Easy as that. There we are. It would be cool to have landed off that, but we're going to try and do a visual circuit. I know they usually do that run and brake procedure, but this is a little bit more leisurely. Going to try and maintain 130 in that turn. I don't want to put too much G on because the angle of attack will increase and will stall. God, that attitude is very unusual as well. Down to around 400 kilos of fuel. Proper turn final now. Just watch that rate of descent. Landing check is complete. I see some green lights. Landing flaps out. Bring that speed back to 130. 2 reds, 2 whites, but not if I can. Whoop. See, I've got a little bit too much G loading on there. It was a bit of buffeting. 3 reds, that's okay. 2 whites, 2 reds. Looking good. Three reds, tad low. Keep it descending. I want to be doing about 110 over the threshold, so take a little bit of thrust off. Not sure what the exact wind is, maybe a little bit of crosswind. There's 110. Do a military landing, oh no. Closer for us leavers. And holding off the attitude. Whoa! Dropped a wing. Wasn't quite a butter. We're down. I was getting a little bit low there. I could feel the wing wanting to drop there. I should have been probably going a little bit faster. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to RAF Valley. A continuous flight. What was the flight time there? About 50 minutes? Continuous. Very, very nice. Just using rudder to maintain centre line. Yeah, I'm not too happy with the landing, but oh well. Right, we'll try and end up where we started. We'll vacate onto runway 0119er. Proper Navy landing was a little bit amazing. But it just goes to show you how versatile this aircraft is in Microsoft Flight Simulator. You can mess around doing aerobatics and whatever you want to do. You can fly full-blown instrument approaches, just like I've done here. It's amazing. Really, really impressed. As I said, am I the one to give you a full expert opinion on this aircraft? No, but as a product, it's amazing. It's amazing fun. As I said, go check out Fast Jet Performance on YouTube as well for his take on it. It's a guy who actually has flown the Hawk in real life. I don't know if he's tried the Microsoft Flight Simulator version, but for the X-Plane version of his, he's spoken very fondly of. So no doubt this is very, very similar. Right, we'll take the right here. There we go. And this is the free RAF Valley series. Looks absolutely spectacular at night. Very impressed. And the timing was perfect for the sunset approach there. Oh yeah, I forgot to put my taxi music on. There we go. Beautiful. We'll park exactly where we started as well. What, an 800 cool AOG? Oh guys, I'll look at what you said in chat there, because that was so busy. That was me at max capacity. Especially I was trying to explain all the actions as well. It's probably a bit of a transit taxi and flow as well, but I'm a little bit unfamiliar. Oh, I know what I could do. How do I open the... I don't know how to open the hatch. Damn it. I'll probably come in the wrong way here as well. I think it was here around a stand. Oh, I can't see where I'm going. Oh no, don't! That'll be expensive. That's going to be expensive. Don't do that. Trying to get the there we go, canopy. Yes. Yeah, probably would have failed my check right. There we go. Oh, I'm doing what is right. It's honestly the rudder thing. I've got full right, but it wants to turn. There's a bit of a delay. There we go. Well, I hope I did it justice anyway. Try and get Jim safely. Jim's been very quiet the entire flight. There we go. Right, parking brake is down here. There we go. That is set. Just find the old checklist to get everything shut down. Blah blah blah. Climb crane shut down. Taxi. Set the engine start and fuel pump switches to off. Fuel pump switch to off. Confirm the throttle is set to idle, then click on the idle stop lever to bring it to the high pressure off position. There we go. Oh, thanks Microsoft. Can you get rid of that?
Minimums. Approaching
Unbelievable. Who we got there? Thank you very much, Byron, for your 33 months as a member. The wheels have come off. It was so solid until the end. I know. I'm really disappointed about that landing. I just let the speed bleed off a little bit too much. Oh, the ram air turbines out as well. Oh, it's got away. Probably because I shut the engine down a little bit too quickly. But yes, not my finest landing. But anti-coal's off. Nav lights then come off because it's going to be powered soon. Panel, there we are. The lighting is superb in here. Still got taxi light on as well. Where are you? Oh, it's over here. Perfect. Well, let's make it daytime again. Watch your eyes. So you can see the external model again. There we are. Whoosh. Beautiful. And there we are, back on the ramp. All parked up nice and safely. Yes, thanks, Byron. Not my finest. Oh, I left the flaps out as well. My goodness me, professional pilot here. Cool. Well, let's have a little read in the comments section before I sign out for the day. Just a little short, fun stream today. The airplane seems inherently unstable. I think it's pretty good though. I think speed, it feels really nice. Like it's rock solid, which is really, really cool. There. Oh, nice of comments coming in about there. What was the MDA? Yeah, it was 600 for the circle, all over the place there. This is 10 specs. We should have done it proper IMC there. But no, the landing wasn't the best one I've ever done. You're a fighter jet captain. Have you seen me fly the F-14? I haven't, Captain Monster. I'm sure you'd be far better at flying that than I am this. Thanks, N2, for the kind words as well. Jim has some cleanup to do back there. Brilliant. Is there an engine fire test switch? Probably, Captain Monster. I've only shown you a glimpse of what the BAE Hawk from Just Flight has here. But anyway, we'll sign out now. As I said, massive thanks to Just Flight for sending me a copy of their BAE Hawk for me to preview for you guys. I hope you enjoyed my take on it and seeing how someone with no experience flying this jet, with the experience I have, gets on with it. And yeah, I think we did okay. I'm very happy with the instrument approach I demonstrated. It will be available imminently. I don't have an exact date for release. I've got a funny feeling within the next week. £32.99 for you. If you already own the FSX prepared version, you'll have 25% off as well. Awesome. So that's it for today. I'm at work tomorrow. I hope to be streaming on Sunday. I've got something lined up and planned, which I do need some preparation for. There should be some good fun. And as ever, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to stay up to date with the latest content, and to everyone that donated, thank you for your generosity, and to all the members for the continued support. Guys, stay safe, and I'll see you on another live stream very soon. Bye bye for now.